Everybody sounds low.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put on some of this video. Some of this crazy stuff happening. Okay. And I'm also going to put the link in the chat for this. And then let me know if y'all can hear it once I get it started, I guess.
Okay.
After I give permissions. Okay.
Does it say you are sharing screen?
And this is when you can suddenly see how the human voice
So I listen to stuff at like 2 times the speed. Okay, let me know if you can hear this.
And this is when you can suddenly see how the human voice has potential to create infinitely. That's
okay, good.
And this is when you can suddenly see how the human voice has potential to create infinitely. That with our voice, we have the potential to create everything and anything we can imagine. Everything in creation spins and vibrates. Everything has its own prime resonance frequency. Everything. Sound is the source of all creation. Sound and resonance is responsible for everything. It is the breath of the Creator, the prime resonance frequency, and the source code for everything in creation, including our DNA. Check out Dan Winter's work on that as well, how cymatics and sound helps to form and shape our DNA and the structure of our DNA based on the cymatics. And that word cymatics, it comes from Hans Jenny in the 50s and 60s, the brilliant work that he did and showed us how sound and resonance is responsible for everything in creation. This is the most basic fundamental demonstration how sound and resonance manifests into physical form. And I just cannot get enough of it. I can watch it millions of times. Every frequency has its own specific shape, a prime resonance frequency. Are you only looking at a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional effect? And then Erik Larson is the guy that created the CymaScope, and this is when you can suddenly see how the human voice has potential to create infinitely. That with our voice, we have the potential to create everything and anything we can imagine. That we are indeed creators. And remember, every thought you have also has a frequency and a vibration as a resonance, just like your voice. Can you see it's got a slight toroidal feel to it? It's actually, the shape manifests in a toroidal shape. And some of these pictures, the images of this CymaScope images, tell us that it was these sounds, the images of the sound, that actually inspired religious symbols. That beautiful cross in a circle at the center of some of these cymatic photographs give us a very clear indication that the creators of the religious symbols knew exactly what they were talking about, that the source of creation is sound itself. And that takes us to what sound does. Sound pretty much does everything you can imagine because it's a source of creation. This is
Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to do here, and I'll also provide the link if y'all want to watch this whole video. But there was just key points in here.
in nature.
Are there latent systems in your brain that can be
Lemonade
activated to produce a mystical experience that could
How they all have sound and resonance, the sound of nature around us. Every time you look at something that's carved out in a rock or a symbol or the caduceus, everything carries its frequency. And actually, when you're looking at it, you're picking up the image and the sound is entering your subconscious through the fact that you're observing it and looking at it. So it has an effect on you. So when people say, oh, it's just a stupid symbol. No. It has a severe effect on you and your subconscious, but you're just not aware that it's affecting you because you're picking up the sound frequencies of that image. So keep in mind, not only your thoughts are powerful tools, but the images and the words you write are powerful tools. The words that we write, this is why the original letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the 22 letters, are very specific shapes and size and forms. Each letter is actually a two-dimensional representation of the three-dimensional sound of that letter. It's been reduced to 2D. Now you get a better understanding of how that is possible. So the tools that have been given to us of thought, of language, of vocabulary, of letters, of the alphabet, are powerful tools, and this is why wizards and witches could cast spells with their spelling, right? Cast spells, and we do spelling at school, so we're actually learning to cast spells without realizing what we're doing. And this stuff is just so brilliant. When you start breaking this knowledge and this information down, you get into the deeper understanding of the power that we have, the incredible, powerful beings that we are, because we are one with God. We are.
Okay. That's all that I was going to show on that. Because, let's see here. Okay. I'll figure out how to share it here in a minute. But anyways, so stop sharing. Did anybody have any thoughts on what they on the video or in relation to the Hebrew alphabet, or just what they thought about it, period? Hold on, you're muted, so you gotta unmute. Holly. That's okay, hold on. I'll figure out. Let me see if I can figure out how to unmute you.
Okay.
Put that unmute back up again.
What you mean?
I don't know, you some kind of way you had.
Oh, okay. I just.
How about now?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying what this guy was just speaking of. That's what I saw, when I read Jubilee 12, of how much power there is in speaking, and what you're speaking, could be either, could be life, or either could be death. And when I read that in Jubilees, and they call Hebrew the language of creation in itself is a word that represents life, because you don't create things by destroying it. You create things by building, or even by speaking certain words. So yeah, I think words do carry, and even the English words, they have some power too, but it's not the kind of power we really are searching for. And that's why I feel like if we learn our original language, I feel like that's where the true power is. Our true power lies. So that's kind of what I have. But yeah, that was good information.
And in what you just said, if what you learned in Jubilees is that it's the true creation, or it says the Hebrew language is a
The
creation.
language of creation.
Is the language of creation, meaning that being Hebrew, the language is already in us. We were born with it from birth. We just don't know how to tap into it. And I guess that's where there's a verse that states that he will, when he returns, he will put it in our hearts because it's already there. That's my conclusion.
Yes, that's good stuff. I'm glad that you was able to piece it back to the Jubilees. And just, yes, this is the language that is in us, and we have the ability to speak this language. You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody else that had their thoughts? Well, folks are being shy this time around. That's okay.
I had something, but I lost it, so I'm just listening.
We should let you go first. I think Sasha's on.
Shalom to everyone. From what I have gathered of the video and of my own study and research, is everything is here for a reason. And with dealing with sound and language, these are, for me, myself, key things that I have not just strayed away from, but more strayed into study and understanding with. I don't know if you've ever heard of this person, but I've actually went into certain teachings of documentaries that deals with sound and language, of how to differentiate what is being heard with high frequencies, with Dr. Gilbert Blair and other doctors that have taught in the type of study.
You have a blade? You have a blade?
Look at my
No, Gilbert Blair. Gilbert Blair. He deals with some of the studies and teachings that I have found on YouTube. It deals with certain sounds that you can hear, certain language of even sight, as in to say, when you see certain sparkling lights or certain light frequencies that come about in your everyday life, what they possibly could mean, what they possibly could not mean, what certain sounds could mean, what certain high frequencies could possibly mean for you, and etc. So these are the teachings that I have become aware of already.
That's good stuff. We're gonna have to look up this guy that you're talking about. You said, how do you say his name again one more time? And can you spell it if you
can? Dilbert is like saying Hillard, except Dilbert. It's D-I-L. Oh God.
D-I-E-R-T.
Yes.
And the last,
It's Dilbert, like
Mhm.
Dilbert, like
Mhm.
the cartoon character that used to be in the newspaper,
Right. Okay. Okay. I
like
got it.
like
And the
Dilbert
last name?
Blair, B
Blair.
L Blair.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I have
Can someone put that in the chat, please?
yes,
Yeah, I'm
ma'am.
gonna put it in the chat. And then I think Yahava had her hand up, and then Latrice wanted to say something as well. So we can do Yahava first.
Okay. The video, it just kind of reminded me of how animals, how they see things and how they hear things. Because you know how they have like whistles and only like dogs can hear them? Or like the way that animals see and hear things and how they communicate with each other. That's just kind of what it reminded me of. And I know we're supposed to have a lot of those senses, and I feel like the Hebrew language brings certain things back to us. That's just kind of what it reminded me of because, you know, just watching videos about animals and how they see things, how they hear things, and, you know, the way they communicate, the way birds can hear or not hear, but how they know when a storm is coming, how they know when to go to another state or whatever. You know, it just kind of reminds me of how they are so in tune with the Most High. It just kind of reminds me of that. But that was it.
Okay.
And then we had Latrice.
Whoops, sorry.
Oh, they left. No, they didn't.
I didn't have anything.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought your mic was open a moment ago. Okay. Well then, with that being said,
Vivian was on here.
yeah, she just came in like shortly after the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna provide this video and then the last one, so that everybody can watch it. And then that way, if people for the next time want to think of anything and they wanted to say, and just putting that out there besides fair use, I don't know if we got to throw that out there. This is literally, y'all, this is my first group meeting. Y'all, I'm so excited. Anyway, but besides that, I don't know. I just wanted to let y'all know that all of what you watch on there, I'm not saying I agree with everything on there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying, you know, if you hear anything you think is crazy, I don't want y'all to be like, life is not crazy. It's just for this little piece, you know, I thought that was amazing. And then the fact that they talked about the Hebrew letters in the context of what they were saying, I thought that was really good. And so I wanted to bring it back to when we were watching at the beginning of the video where they had the salt or the sand or whatever little white grainy substance that they poured on the little plate. And then as they were going through different frequencies, it was making different geometrical shapes on that. You know what I'm saying? On that plate. This is the same thing that is happening when we speak any language, but we want to talk specifically about Hebrew. So as we're speaking Hebrew, it also is making these vibrational patterns, but it's making it into the air, into the ether, into the universe, as it were, you know. And so, and I know that sounds weird, but when you think about it, when you take a normal breath in and out, right, you're just breathing. You also need air to talk. You can't be sucking in air and trying to breathe at the same time. That's just not going to work, you know. And so what is actually happening as you speak is that you have points in the mouth that is coming together, that is carving out that breath that you're actually breathing in and out, you know. So it's giving shape to that breath so that when it comes out, that breath has been manipulated to be able to make the sounds that we end up registering on our eardrums, you know. And so, like, say when you make the B sound, it is because your lips have blocked off the air that was coming out of your mouth and then released it in order to make that sound. When we make the sound of the G, you know, G, it is because the back of our tongue has reached up to the soft palate and cut off that air for a little bit and then released it. When we make the SH sound like shh, it's because we've put our teeth, our tongue somewhere up by our teeth and rounded our lips a little bit and breathe through a little hole that we've created with the cavity of our mouth. So we're carving that air that we're breathing. Well, air is not nothing. I believe air has got hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen. So we literally are carving out something as we speak, you know? And so then now to be able to have the Hebrew language that we speak, this is a very powerful language in and of itself. And so as the video was talking about the symbols being a representation of sounds. And so then even when we see these symbols, i.e. these Hebrew letters, it's making an impression on our subconscious as well, because we're like seeing the sounds of those letters. We're seeing a 2D representation of the 3D act of what we're doing as we speak, you know. And I know that sounds weird and complicated, but like, you know, you think about it and let's sit with you, and it'll make more and more sense as we start working with the Hebrew letters and talking about them and stuff like that. So and why that's important, you know, because each of the Hebrew letters, not only do they have the sound that they make, but they actually, you know, they have the name, the name of the letter itself, like Aleph. It's not just, okay, we see this and it's the letter A, because that's actually an English representation. It is the letter Aleph, and it makes the ah sound, you know, and that word Aleph has meaning. It can, the root of this word means to lead. It means to what else? Basically, it can mean 1,000. It has several different meanings, and once we start learning different roots and stuff like that, we'll know all of the different meanings that is attached to the word Aleph when we use it as a word. The letter Beit, which is the next letter, not only does it make the B sound, that B, that's the sound it makes, but the letter, the name of it itself is a word. And that word Beit, this means a house, you know, something that is containing something. And also each of the Hebrew letters, they have a numerical value. So they have a sound that they make, the name of the letter itself, and then it also has a numerical value. So the letter Aleph would be 1 and Beit is 2. And then by the time you get to the 10th letter, which is Yod, you know, the next letter is going to be 20. And then the next letter is 30, and so on and so forth like this. So then you can look in a Hebrew Bible and see, you're not going to see verse numbers and they're going to be using Arabic numerals like we see 1, 2, 3, 4, like we used to seeing. It's going to be the Hebrew letters themselves that is actually also going to represent the verse numbers, you know. So as we learn the Hebrew alphabet, we have to remember that there are these 3 aspects to each of the letters. Let's see. And then the direction of writing in Hebrew, we write Hebrew, we also read Hebrew from right to left, and not how we read English from left to right. And so
Right to left.
you're going to start from the right and you're going to go to the left in the next line and then go to the left again, you know. So that's also training your brain to start looking at things differently, because you are actually looking at things differently. So let's see. I got about 10 minutes, And so some of this other stuff I'm going to put into the next one. Like we got 3 different scripts that we know about. There's the Paleo script. There's this square script that we're used to seeing in printed materials and stuff like that. And then there's also like this cursive looking script, and we'll show those pictures and stuff the next time.
I'm sorry, what's the third one?
Like a cursive.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Although none of the letters in Hebrew join up like they do in Arabic. So even though it's cursive, it's quicker to write, but the letters don't attach to each other like we do in English when we write cursive. The letters are still going to be separate. So in the Paleo script, in the square script, and in the cursive script, all the letters are separate. And then the Hebrew letters, some of them have 2 sounds, and then we have some of those that have final forms. All of that we're going to go over the next time. I'm just giving you kind of like a preview. But what I did want to do is leave us with a phrase that we can say every day, because it'd be good. Why? Because it'll give us some Hebrew to be speaking every day. So let's see. Is it gonna let me? Oh, see, that's why I'm not gonna type on that one, because I don't remember how to switch that.
Yes. Life.
Yes.
Would the square script be the modern script?
Talking about the block.
The block.
Okay, the block script. Yeah, because I don't know whether we call it modern or not modern, or because there's a debate going on with that too. It's just the script we see now, and everything printed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you use the early, like the pictograph form of the early Hebrew letters?
Ooh, okay, that one's not the Paleo, is there? 4.
No,
I
think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that one. So then instead of 3, then there would be the 4. The pictograph that you were saying.
Yeah.
And then the Paleo, and then the square script, and then this
cursive.
Yes, thank
you. Okay.
Okay. Can you see the chat, everybody?
Oh, it went off. Can you put it up there again?
Oh, you can click on it. But yeah, where it says more.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Ani
Daber.
Ivrit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something I know?
Said by a man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what that means?
No, it's a man says this, and I'm typing the one that a woman says.
Oh.
Ivrit. Let's see.
confuses. What is that?
And I'm gonna type this also in the Discord.
This one's said by a woman.
Okay. So Anderson can say, "Ani medaber ivrit," but Holly cannot say "Ani medaber ivrit" because she is not a man. She can say "Ani medaberet ivrit." And so all of us women, we can say "Ani medaberet ivrit," and
Ani medaber. Say it again.
uh-huh. Medaber
Ani medaberet ivrit.
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 Mm-hmm. So medaberet.
Ani
Medaberet.
medaberet ivrit.
Perfect.
Okay.
Ani.
So can we get everybody to say this phrase before our 2 minutes run out?
Okay.
Ani medaberet
Medaberet
ivrit.
ivrit. Mhm.
I
And
need
what
it
is
one
it?
at a time so I
Yeah,
can
one at a time.
understand.
Okay, if not, I'll call
Oh,
off.
one at a time? Okay.
Yeah. So Miss Holly?
Go ahead.
Ani medaberet ivrit.
Yes. And then Mr. Anderson?
Ana Dabari Ivrit.
Ani
Ani
medaber.
Daber
Medaber.
Ivrit.
It's with the M.
Dabir.
Yes. Medaber.
Daber
Okay.
Ivrit.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then we have Shasha.
Means I speak Hebrew.
Ani medabrit ivrit.
Medaber.
Medabert
Mm-hmm.
ivrit.
Perfect. And then we have Latrice.
Oh Lord.
You can do it, Sister Latrice.
Okay, I'm trying to go back and forth and look at it. It's I meet
Mm-hmm.
the breed,
Medaber.
mid the bird. Wait a minute. Mid the say it again.
Medaberet.
Mid the bird. I
Perfect.
meet mid the bird.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Mid the bird. What's the
Medaberet
last one?
ivrit.
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 Mm-hmm.
I meet mid the bird.
Ivrit.
Ivrit.
Perfect.
Okay, that's a tongue twister. I need to be
That's okay.
reporting you saying it.
Oh, I'm gonna make a recording for just this phrase. And then
Thank you.
let's see, Yaheva.
Ani medaberet ivrit.
Perfect.
Show
So
off.
what's the difference? What's the difference in the way the men say it and the women? What's the difference in that word?
Grammar. But let